Welcome to Tits and Giggles. I got my hubs joining me again and my bestie, J Styles.
What up?
And me and her have been best friends since we were youngins. Mm-hmm. And so today's topic, which there'll be more, but we're going to just get into dating.
Yeah.
And since she's single, I have a first-hand witness here. Mm-hmm. Is dating trash?
Yes, it is. And I say that is because a lot of guys are spoiled these days. Some women just easily give up things and just be like, here, take it on a silver platter, do whatever you want with it. While other women, such as myself, is more like, nah, you gotta work for it, at least do something. Like, I'm just not just gonna give it to you,
right?
Just willy-nilly, just out in these streets.
I mean, that's why I told her to get an OnlyFans, because she could charge,
right?
So if J Styles, if y'all see a J Styles OnlyFans, please subscribe.
Yes, subscribe.
She has
support.
some sexy feet, because that's all she says she's showing.
Gotta show the feet.
But yeah, and I was gonna ask my husband's point of view, because you have single friends. What do men say about dating?
Oh, they equally hate it.
Why?
It's just frustrating. I mean, it also, age plays a big role, like, in your choices. Mm-hmm. So the older you get, the slimmer the pickings.
Right.
And you almost feel like you're just getting what's left.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Would you date a younger guy?
I'll go like 5 years younger or so, because how women are already more mature than men, I feel. So if you just go back down, you're like, now I gotta train this guy up. You already gotta train the other ones, but now it's like you gotta train this younger one and baby him.
That's the funny thing about younger dudes too, because they always swear they mature, and then they'll hide it, and then it's like, oh, you really not mature.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I agree with that. So do you prefer, I mean, obviously we went through a pandemic, everybody kind of was forced to online dating. Is your ideal to meet a man in person, or would you rather, I mean, are you open to either one, online or in person?
I'm open to either one, because actually I've been online dating since my late 20s. So I'm open to either one, but I would prefer to meet him in person. Actually, I would prefer to meet him from like somebody that I know, so that way they can vouch for him. So they already know this person and kind of know like the type of person they are. So it takes at least like half the guessing game out or whatever, and I'll feel more comfortable. But yeah, either one.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, even in that aspect, because people these days, in my opinion, are so fake. So even if I could be like, I know this, I probably wouldn't vouch for nobody. Because I mean, somebody could be really cool to you, and then in a relationship, they're trash.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, yeah. I mean, do you have any takes on that, sir?
As far as
like that, like, the male perspective, like
just dating in general?
Yeah,
online dating?
Meeting someone in person or meeting someone online.
Well, online dating is a double-edged sword. One, you're able just to get online and automatically, you see that these people are single and dating. So that helps. But it took the personal part out to where you could just look at the person's profile, go down their list of supposed virtual what do you call it? Virtues and abilities, and you could just go down, and if you find, if there's 10 of them and there's 2 that you don't like in there, bam, just keep swiping. Where unlike online dating, you were able to meet that person, and then you had to figure it out as you dated them.
Yeah.
Which gave it a more personal touch and a more possibility. But now that you could just swipe because you saw that one thing, you lost that chance or the opportunity.
Right.
And to me, it's like, because I'm not when I was online dating, because I've online dated in the past too, I don't like to write a whole, do people even read that?
Right. Well, actually,
I know you probably do.
Oh, I don't, because I'm like, I don't even write out that. Ask me, like, if
you want to read about my profile, I feel like, unless you get on there like, I I smoke crack.
Exactly. That's what I do. I do want to read that because they have that on some dating sites, like, are you into drugs or something like that. So I do want to see, like, are you into it, because that's an automatically no right there. So.
What if he's like going off that Molly?
God, no, see, him and Molly could go on somewhere else. Yeah, no, I don't need that in my life. So.
What do you think about like catfishing? I know that, like, do you feel like, to me, I feel like everybody catfishes these days to a certain extent. Like,
yeah, catfish is funny because, like, some people are, I'm trying to be like, give them the benefit of the doubt. Some people are very photogenic, so it's not really their fault. But then there are some people who blatantly know, like, they're not like
you don't look like that. You got
so then it's just like, okay, what the hell?
Now, have you ever? Because I've told you this, that when I was online dating, this guy, he literally only had one picture of his side of his face. Like, he only took the one profile, and so we met at the movies. And then when I got there, he didn't. His eye was like a glass eye. Like, he didn't have an eye at all, which is fine. But give me a chance to decide if that's what I want to do in my life. So I literally like told him, like, because we met at the movie theater, I literally told him, like, I have to go to the bathroom and left.
Oh my God, you did that?
Yes.
I know about this. Hilarious.
Because like,
do
why?
You see me now?
Because, like, because I'm, like, when I was online dating, I was big on letting people know, like, this is how I am. I'll send you a video, like, this is me. I feel like, don't trick me.
Right.
Because they'll feel the same person. They'll be like, man, I just gotta make sure. And they ask you for 3 million photos, videos.
Exactly.
Then you get there, and it's like, you ain't even real.
Right, exactly.
So I'm bouncing on you.
Right.
So, I mean, I know it's mean, and like I said, I know that I know that, like, I like to say I'm a nice person, but I don't like you already lying. Like, I don't want to waste my time. I didn't even want to see that movie.
Right, and most of the things how they catfish you too, if they had that fake smile, they're not really smiling, but then when they smile for you, the teeth are gone.
Yeah, like two.
Or like dudes taking pictures with caps on, and then we
ain't
take
got
your
no
hat
hair.
off. Like, well, it's not the fact, because I love me some bald men too. But it's not the fact that they don't have hair, but it's just like their head shape is weird. So it's like, women wear wigs or whatever. So it's like a woman with long, luxurious hair or something like that. But then the guys, they had their cap on.
Yeah.
And it's like another form.
They
like,
mama didn't shake their head.
Right,
Just
exactly.
laid them on his back. It's all like.
Right. So you're like, what's going on here? Like,
would you ever, I mean, so you're nicer than me, clearly. Because have you showed up to a date and the person wasn't?
Yep.
What'd you do?
Just, ate my food. Like, well, I had a great time. Just like fade away. Fade to black.
Fade away. What about you, babe? Have you ever been catfished?
Luckily, no.
No?
Yeah, my dating window wasn't very that big though.
Because I locked that dick down.
Lock the key. Clank, clank.
But you went on dates before me, right?
Yeah.
And how were they?
It was terrible. It was trash.
Like how? As a man, like how are they terrible?
Like, I'd say just in general, you meet a very pretty girl, and then like within the first 30 minutes, you're like, I can't stand her voice, or I can't stand the things just them talking was annoying, and like
that's why I said the main
everything
thing
just
for me.
went like 30 minutes. I'm like, like, I see why you're out here.
I see why you're single.
I see why you're sitting here.
Hilarious.
I know. I will say one thing my husband said to me, which I always find very hilarious. Is we were like, it was New Year's Eve, and it was like we were getting ready.
Here you go.
He had his first few. He was inebriated. He was trying to be romantic, but he was like, I just want you to know that I met a lot of hoe bitches was his exact term. I met a lot of hoe bitches out here, and you are. What did you say? He was like, "I'm the queen of the. I'm the best. I mean, best hoe ever." It was like out of all the hoe bitches I met, I just want you to know that you are so special to me. I'm like, I know that was supposed to be romantic. And I would never, cause like, who says hoe bitches?
You knew my intent. That's all that matters.
Like, who even says that?
Contexting which I was thinking.
So,
that's why we're married, cause you be feeling me like that.
Yeah, I know what you're trying
you can
to
see
say.
past the dumb crap I just said. You see my heart, so that's why we here.
Yes, I'm the queen of the hoe bitches.
You're the queen of the crowd of the hoe bitches.
I probably said it with a tear, man.
You were. I thought he was really about to say something real sweet. Because it was like New Year's Eve, and I'm like, oh, he's about to say something really sweet because it was like our first serious kind of date, and he's just like, I just want you to know out of all the hoe bitches, and I'm like,
you are, yes.
Thank you. I guess I am the queen of the whole bitch. So yeah. So tell me about your worst, like you. So I want to know like your worst date and then your worst dating experience.
Let's see. Oh, my worst date. There's been a couple of those where the guys just like pulling teeth just to have a conversation. I hate those. It's like you just sitting there looking at each other. Well, first of all, like I said, most of the time I've been meeting guys online. And so like when you heard that first initial conversation, it's like, yeah, it's almost like an interview process, and I kind of hate that also. It's like, what's your favorite color? Like, what do you like to do? I don't know, I like to eat tacos. But it's just like when you finally meet in person, and then like I say, it's just that whole connection thing, and it's like sometimes like you pulling teeth trying to get them to talk about anything, and you carry the conversation. It's just like like I hate that part. Now my worst dating experience is since we're talking about being drunk. This one guy, he thought that like if he could get me drunk, that I would be free. And
no, because you actually turned really mean.
Exactly. And that's what I told him. I said, you give me all these drinks, how do you know I'm not just gonna like slap you or stab you or something? So he was like, I'll take that chance.
Exactly.
Come on, bro.
Because when men, this is the thing about men, when y'all think with that other head, they will take any kind of torture just to get laid.
Exactly.
You literally could have slapped him and peed on him. And he would have been like, yeah. Great.
And then it's funny you said that, because that's part of the worst date part. It's like, even like when he gave me these drinks or whatever, and so we were having a good time. I dated him several times, like a couple of times, whatever. So we was at his house at this time, and so we were kissing or whatever, but that's all I really wanted to do, because I really wasn't into him for real. And so all of a sudden he just whips it out. And I was like,
I remember this story.
It just, his nickname was like Mr. Whip Out. Because I'm like, what the hell? And then I could see if it was like a nice size or something, right? But it was just like this little thing, and I'm just like, there.
How cute.
I can't even remember how I like left. I can't remember what I said or whatever to leave. But I was just like, yeah, I'm out.
Well, I remember the story, but yeah, you pretty much was like.
I was like, yeah. So that was like my worst date or whatever. So, but yeah.
I've had a lot of bad dates, and I always tell you, when I went to this one city, it was probably the worst experience. I think like the men there were really crazy, but this guy actually worked with him, and I went out on a date with him because I felt like I knew, we worked together, but he literally, and I knew like red flag, it was July, and he brought his jacket in the movie theater, which I was like, maybe he's gonna get cold or think I'm gonna get cold, but he literally immediately like put the jacket over our laps and like he had his thing out and he was like trying to put my hand in his seat. And I'm like,
I had that before.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
And like his friend who hooked us up, he like after the fact, he's like, man, I can't believe this. I'm like, dude, like if you knew your friend is like this, because he was like, I just figured because the dude in particular, he had just got out of a marriage, so he's like, I just figured maybe he don't know how to date no more.
Nah, you know he wanted. Like, he know how to date, but he just wanted like extra, I guess, benefits of the date or whatever.
So you had the another whip out. You were like attracting these.
Exactly. It's like right now. Well, not right now, but it's been for years now. Dudes that just whip it out are married men. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because plus size or something. They think I'm easy or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it can be crazy. I know. I do want to ask you: does size matter to you?
Yes. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's like Mandingo big or whatever.
Of course not. Well, you don't want to die.
I don't want no shrimp.
But you don't want to die, though. I always tell you don't want to die.
Oh, yeah. I want to die. Yeah. I want to, like, continue to walk normal.
Yeah, I mean, you think you're going to enjoy that, and you're going to be like, I got my ovaries and titties.
Exactly. So, yeah, like that. Yeah, I don't want to
die.
Usually, I don't want to die, and I want something I can feel.
Yeah, you don't want to be like, I've been, and nothing this to the lesbians, but you don't want to feel like you bumping clits.
Right. Exactly. Well, I think first of all, like I've seen plenty of those. Well, not plenty, but I've seen a couple of those in my dating experience, and I've always been like, well, just ease my way on now. It's just like tap dance. Tap. So I'm just like, It's like, why even waste my time? I waste your time.
Do you know how to do the test to see what they might be working with? Because there is a test.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, like, say, because obviously, if you are planning on going to that level with this person, there's a way that you can like you can act like you're reaching over. Yeah, you can reach.
Go for it. But sometimes it's deceiving because sometimes you could be feeling something and you're like, oh, okay, it's a nice little bowl, but it could just be some balls.
Yeah, you gotta like, you have to like actually investigate. But yeah, I agree with you. Like size, you do need something because unfortunately, I mean, a lot of women say, oh, size doesn't matter, but to me it does too, because I would feel like I'm just a woman and we just doing something for
just bumping.
Babe, how are you feeling? You know, my husband is still present for this conversation.
The size matters.
Everybody has a preference. That's all I'm gonna say.
Does size matter to you, babe?
What do you mean? Answer that. What the hell?
Have you ever felt a loose vag? Huh?
No.
Like you felt like you was throwing a hot dog down the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't out there like that either, though. So.
What about your friends?
Oh, I've heard stories.
Do you feel like, because I know like for you, do you think that like men, because you were married, do you feel like you didn't know what you was doing when it came to dating?
Yes. But I mean, at the same time, I did know that I had very little patience as well. Like I knew I was like not giving people chances because I'm like, I'm bored with you already.
But I do like feel like, you know, like Jay Styles said, like some men just are trying to see if they can get laid. Do you not agree? Because you have friends. Is that what they doing?
All men have that plan in their head, no matter what. Now some men, that might be their goal more than others, but that is the goal in every man's mind, to attain sex. Women are the keepers of sex. Men are the keepers of relationships.
Interesting.
like explain more about that keepers of relationship.
Like, we're the ones that offer marriage to you.
But it's up to us to choose to say yes or no.
Who you have sex with, yeah.
And marriage.
Yeah, kind of. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy is still the one you're waiting to propose.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to him if he does or doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's the keeper of relationship.
Okay. I see where you're going.
I mean, a woman will stay with a man and wait 5 or 10 years for that commitment. And he may never give it.
Do you think it matters the whole sex on the first date versus a woman that holds out?
I really don't think it should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, two grown adults, if they decide they're sexually attracted to each other, they should just do it. There shouldn't be a stigma to it.
But if a woman gives it up to you on the first date, do you think, like, especially if you're dating online, wouldn't you think like she's done this before?
Is she a bitch hoe?
Yeah,
bitch. Well, you almost figured it out during the sex.
The hot dog down the tunnel thing.
Yeah.
I mean, so for me, I mean, yeah, and if you figure that out, or what if she just, like, they say skinny girls are loose, I don't know. What if she just got a big badge?
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe she just had like a medical
issue
or something like that. I mean, sometimes it's
no, and I know like dudes say skinny girls have like they
get canceled out just like a guy with a little penis gets canceled out like that.
Some dudes like skinny girls.
So regardless of their reason, they get canceled.
But you would sleep with her on the first night. If she was giving it up, most dudes would.
Most dudes would.
Yeah. I do know that, like, I know I'm not going to name names, but I do know that you have some people in your life that are men that are terrible daters. Meaning, like, they be too aggressive. Like, because you say, like, that's their goal. Like, do you feel like any of your friends ever dated seriously besides you? Because we always say, like, when we were dating, we were not even wanting to get married. We wasn't thinking, like, oh, I'm dating for marriage. I mean, you know, we were cool being single. It just happened that our relationship grew. But do you know anybody that intentionally, like, dates to be married or to be in a relationship?
Sort of, but when it comes to guys, we don't date for that. We don't date with that goal in mind. It's like we'll smash until we find that one that stops us in our tracks, and then commit to that one. It's true. It sounds simplistic to you, but that's the real.
I'm saying, so like for me and you, for instance, like. We did not, he loves to say that I gave it up to him, but we were getting to know each other for a long time before we had sex. I say it was a month before we had sex, because we did a lot of FaceTime because of our schedules and everything. But then, you know, and it was really his octopus hands that got him some, because if it was up to me, he would still been waiting. But moral of the story is, you waited to have sex with me.
Yeah.
Was it still
waited or she waited?
Well, we both.
Well,
okay.
If it was up to him, it wouldn't have won. Yeah.
It was
like,
I'm real.
But with that being said, in that time that you got to know me, were you just still holding out for sex, or were you thinking you want to have a relationship at that point?
I thought there was a potential there for a relationship. I'm not going to flat out
say. So your
theory
theory kind of is wrong.
What theory? Which one?
Where you just said men smash until they find the one that stops them in their tracks.
Do that, but I mean, sometimes you meet. I mean, we got handsy first, but but I mean, you find one that stops you in your tracks, and you didn't stop me in my tracks.
Interesting.
So what track were you in? Because you said you didn't really date around, so.
No, I wasn't out there like smashing like that, but I did date a lot.
Okay.
But I really didn't get that far with a lot of women because I couldn't stand them. Like, I'm done with you. I'm gonna go over here to my homies and drink.
Right.
So that was more fun to me.
Okay.
But I came out of a marriage and 5 kids, so smashing when I that. I mean, it's fun, but it's not, I wasn't hungry for it like someone who, like usual guys are out there.
Yeah. Cause you got a lot of your friends are hoes.
I agree.
Now, would you set your whole friend up with other women? Or would you be like...
Potentially, but if I really thought they would hit it off with each other. Yeah.
Now, would you warn the girl who you're setting your whole friend up with, like, hey, he may be old, but...
This guy, I would be like, hey, this guy dates a lot. Do with that information what you will. If you would get to know him and you like him, I say go for it. If you see something you don't like, cut it off.
And that's why I say you can't really vouch for people because it's like, even though they might be cool, I don't know how you are in a relationship.
Like one of my friends, he's a really good friend, coolest dude ever. But I mean, I for damn sure wouldn't set him up with any girl because I know what he is.
Okay.
But I mean, if I needed him, he'd be there in an instant. He's a true friend.
Okay. Right.
So.
Interesting. Yeah, so dating is like, I know, just even like me and him, we were dating and we did not wasn't for a relationship. It was like, but he just happened to not get on my nerves. Because it's like, for me, because we have our own lives, that's important to me. A man needs to have hobbies or something else, because then what are you doing? I mean, I know we talked about this, but what, is your ideal guy as far as, I know you said you want him to believe in God and all those things, but as far as his personal life, do you want him to have hobbies or what do you...
No, I love him. Of course I want him to have hobbies because I need my alone time.
Right, exactly.
Just once for a long time, but as long as those hobbies are not going to harm him or harm us as a couple or I don't know, just make sure it's safe and he's not out with other women or something like strip clubs. That can't be your hobby. That's not.
And that's what's interesting too. I want to talk about social media. So for instance, I've been seeing, and I was talking to him about it yesterday, this lady, she put on the shade room that she had met this dude. They both were working at Taco Bell, and he 5 years later, she also married him. 5 years later, he's still at Taco Bell with no goals, and she's and anytime she tries to talk to him about ambition, he's no, it's an argument. And so I was telling him what does he think about that? Does he think that, because when you dating versus getting married, how far into dating do you take? What is your long-term goals?
I'll talk about that fairly quick.
Yeah.
Because I remember I went on this date with this one guy. Because that's why it's important to get to know someone before you marry them.
Yeah.
You need to know something about
But when
them.
you're young, for instance, he brings up, he really thinks that people shouldn't get married till they're how old?
30.
Yeah. I can see that.
Because when you're young, you marry for love.
Right.
You ain't even thinking about...
Right. Because I said, even the previous podcast, the college years, I was learning myself. So it's I think I graduated 21 or something like that. So I still think that's way too young to get married.
Yeah.
You're learning about yourself and everything. But to go back to where I was dating someone, and sometimes I don't like driving myself, but... every once in a while I like to do those quote unquote Sunday drives where you just drive around and just chill, listen to music or something like that. And so I was on this date with this guy, and I just happened to be driving, and we went around to different parts of the city, the higher end of the city. And I was like, oh, look at that house. Oh, I would love to live in that house or something like that. And they were like, why you want all that? You don't need all that. You don't need all that. I don't want no house like that. I'm like, it was a nice house, but it wasn't too big. But I'm like, so what kind of house do you want to live in? It's like you had no desire. Nah, I don't want to do that. And then I started talking about traveling. What you need to go all these places for? Yeah, you're not it. So it's you need to at least learn something
or be open to it. I know, with him, I mean, he had never been out the country or a passport until we got together, and we got our passports together, and like, yeah, and I do think you change. When you're younger, you think like, I want this. When you get a certain age and you didn't work and you see how much stuff costs, you get more practical. Then when you get older, I know like me, I'm at a time now that I'm like, I am almost cool with having a smaller house because my kids are moving out and like, you know, where he would like totally like to stay in a like big house forever. Me, I could totally be in an RV, like really? With no house.
Oh my goodness.
That's literally, you know, because I go through stages of like where I want to be and, you know, being tied down and stuff and just the economy. Like a lot of things change, but a lot of people don't change.
Right.
So like even to go back to that girl and the guy, it's like y'all didn't have this conversation before y'all got married.
Exactly.
And then like, because there are some people that's just cool with doing the minimum.
Yep. But then they could have, I didn't read the story, but he could have lied earlier and she thought, okay, well, maybe we'll change together. And she was like dating his potential or something like that. But then later when they got married, he's like, I'm good.
Because a lot of women think we can fix people. You know, it's like Mike said, like we grow up being women, we grow up, what did you say, nurturing and so we try to fix people and it's like a lost cause. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about that I saw on social media was this, I don't know if you've seen that single dating life is this black lady that has a dating show and people call in for dates. Well, it's on, I'll have to share it with you, but she is a successful black woman and she has a Bentley, like she has stuff. And the man told her that because she bought it for herself, he feel like it wasn't as good because she couldn't lock down a man to buy her that Bentley.
Oh my goodness.
And so she said, so you telling me because I purchased something for myself that here's my opinion, like, and me and him had this conversation, like, men are intimidated by boss bitches or women that are doing stuff for, and it's like, of course we would love a man to buy us that.
Right. Yeah.
But what is wrong with having it? And then you can still buy me another one. Like,
exactly, yeah. Upgrade me.
Yeah, but a lot of men, and I was asking him his opinion on why are men so intimidated by women. I mean, and do you find that too? Like I've had a man tell me, like, I remember when I was working at a little job and he was like, and I could have got promoted and he was like, well, I don't want you to make more than me.
No, I've never had that. But yeah, I understand it though, but I don't know, to me, a real man wouldn't be intimidated by the success of a woman. I think that if they're intimidated by how much, if you make more than him, that's just his ego. So, but yeah, I don't think a real man would be intimidated by any woman.
Do you think it's funny how, like, as women, because obviously we want a man with like a job, blah blah blah, but like also will look.
We're asking for too much.
I'm saying, but like with them, they do want stuff, but then they'll be like, if you, because I still, like, I have experienced with, like, some men be like, oh, just like that dude with the house, why you want to do that? Because it's like, is it because you don't think you can give me that? Or do you think I'm going to look down on you? Or, like, what is it? You got bad credit? Like, what are you saying to me right now? Like, why are you having this reaction to success? Or being, just doing good? Like, as black people, we, like, it's okay for us to do good. You know, we already got to deal with everything in the world, but as like, especially I find as women and black women, when we want to get more or achieve more, we trying to be somebody that we not. I've heard that before, and it's like, how?
Yep.
Babe,
what's the question?
Why do y'all act like that?
I don't.
I know you don't, but
Okay, so
why be some?
But you're the voice of the man.
You're the keeper.
Well, it is true. Some men are just so easily weak and intimidated by a woman with money and power. That's why they usually pick someone more submissive with less.
But they'll talk about that woman as well, though. I found, like, when a man like has a woman that is doing worse than him, I've found that then they be like, you ain't on my level.
Right, exactly. Right.
It's like, it's just like, to me, anybody that gets intimidated by who you're trying to become or who you are, like, in any aspect, man or woman, you meet somebody and he's doing, like, obviously, if you meet a successful person, unless they're like a silver spoon person, they're gonna be busy.
Right.
So the other thing you got to take into account, do I want somebody like that? Blah blah blah. Then number two, like, are you like, is this something you? I always feel like with dating or anything, it's got to be what you can deal with, what you can compromise, because it is a lot of compromise and stuff like that. So. That's my take on that. But I did find that crazy that he told her, like, oh, you wasn't, because you couldn't lock down a man.
Right. Yeah. So you have to buy your own stuff. Look at you.
Yeah, you're not as happy.
Right.
You're not happy.
And
crazy. It's like, and I do find that too. I mean, have you seen that where, like, men almost want to pick you apart? It's like, you single too, dude.
Right, exactly.
Like, how you come in a relationship telling me why I can't find a man?
Right.
Same like somebody else said, that's why you single. I'm not to bring you up, but a lot of men do, like, y'all single, but y'all telling us why we single, but you single too.
One thing that I hate is when they say, like, oh, you're not married? How old are you? You're not married? And then when they find out I don't have kids, what's wrong with you? Something like it's something wrong with me that
because you
I don't
didn't
want to be a baby mama.
Yeah, and you didn't settle.
Like,
and I mean, that's one thing about Jay Styles. Jay Styles doesn't settle. Do you ever regret, like, not settling, or, like, obviously, like, or, like, do you feel like, I know, because you're human. Everybody has moments like, maybe do you feel like you self-sabotage? Because I know I'm a self-sabotager sometimes. I have been in the past.
Yeah, I self-sabotage. I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I be thinking, like, is this dude, sometimes you be thinking, like, what is this dude, like, really here for? Like, I guess I self-sabotage myself like that, I should say. But, I don't regret anything as far as, like, my dating choices or anything like that. I don't regret anything.
Yeah, you are, like, I love that about you, that you don't settle. I mean, anybody can have a baby and be married, but it's like, I always tell you, you've surpassed a lot of headaches. Like, although, yes, the one ain't came yet, but you could have settled and been stuck on having to get a divorce and custody and everything else. So, I mean, you lived vicariously through me and my marriage and stuff like that. So
I think that's what kind of, like, it's not just you, like, your relationship or whatever, but just seeing, like, how other people in my life, just looking at them, like, their relationships. And, like, for instance, like, my grandparents from my dad's side, they were married for over 50 years, and then, like, my mom and dad, how their relationship is, and then just seeing, like, how, like, my older sister, she had some issues with her marriage and they got divorced, and just seeing, like, just different sides of, like, of quote-unquote marriage, like, what a marriage relationship is. And even though when I was younger, I didn't know exactly what I wanted, but I knew what I didn't want. So I think that's my mindset right there. Like, now I know what I want. I know what I want, and I know what I don't want.
What don't you want?
I don't want anybody that's an atheist or doesn't believe in God and Jesus. I don't want anybody that's physically, verbally, mentally, spiritually abusive. Like, that for sure, I'm not gonna deal with that. So, you know me. If I hear the wrong word, come at your mouth.
Like, hold up, player.
I don't want anybody that's lazy. I can't stand a lazy man. Like, if you don't want to work, I just can't. Like, I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to support you. So that's not going to happen.
I have a 2-week rule of no job. Like, I need to see an interview or something.
Right.
Like, if you don't have that, you got to go. And
I can see that, like, when you're married, but if you're dating, it's like, why are you even trying to date somebody if you don't have a job?
Oh yeah.
It's like,
and I mean, I dated somebody that had a job, and they like got like laid off or whatever, and it was like. But if I come home and you just like playing video games, like I can't, because life happens, people get laid off or whatever. I know my husband deals with a lot of layoffs at his job. But I'm like you, I hate like laziness, and yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? You should have had dinner ready.
Yeah, something like do something.
This floor ain't shine enough.
Although my husband thinks he would be a great house husband,
really?
But I can't. And what do you think, babe? Do you think that Jordana's standards are or Jay Styles' standards are too high?
No, those things are common sense things. Yeah, you should have a job. You shouldn't be lazy. Those are common sense.
I mean, you did say that yesterday. You were like, men should want to provide.
They should try to be the best version of themselves, especially when they have a partner.
Right.
They should try to be the best version of themselves for that partner.
Yeah, that's true.
That is good. I know that. And yeah, marriage is hard. So when you find the one, are you ready for marriage?
I believe I am. I believe I am. I feel like I know myself. I feel like, we were talking about in an early podcast as far as like my career, things like that. But yeah, I feel like I'm ready for marriage. I feel like that I'm mature enough and I know the things that I want and what I don't want, and just I believe I'm ready.
And marriage, I mean, it's compromise, believe me. You're going to deal with some, I mean, because life happens, the real world happens, like work happens, like you get busy, you have your family, you're very family involved. So that's something you need to add. You need some man that is very understanding of how much you are family involved. A lot of men require attention. Husband.
Yes.
But yeah, I had this one guy, actually not too long ago, I was talking to from a dating app, and I was telling him about my family situation, how I help take care of my parents. And he was like, well, when you get married, what you gonna do then? I said, I'm gonna continue to help take care of my parents. Because a lot of
men, I mean, you would be surprised. Like, a lot of men don't like that. I mean, I'm close and I help out a lot with my family, and my husband has had to be on the back burner a lot. My family, he knows.
but with that, with that, like if something happened to my husband's parents,
you would be there the same way.
So
yeah, and it's just because like for me, like I'm such a giving, loving person that when I am preoccupied, like that's the funny part about me and him. Like when we do, it'll be because he's not getting enough attention. But I have to know him to know that, like. Because he's a man, he don't express his feelings. But if he's pouting or sulking, I can like, all right, I need to pay more attention to him because he's, you know. And that's the thing, too. Men do not say how they feel. They don't. This one don't. As much as he's freely talking now, I still have to like almost. I mean, you have to, and that's the thing about marriage and that. Like, you have to, you know, me and him have been together for 8 years, and I'm still learning stuff about him. And so it's like, you know, I mean, because he's a man, he doesn't communicate his feelings. Husband.
Yes.
Are you a Neanderthal that doesn't communicate your feelings?
Do you think I'm a Neanderthal?
Sometimes.
No.
His attention span is very short, as we see as well. He can sometimes forget we're on a podcast, but no. But yeah, I think that like I know that love is out there for you, and this has been a very insightful. Do you have any like advice for people that's dating these days in 2022?
Just listen, because if you want to find out about somebody, they'll eventually tell you.
They always show their true colors.
Yep. So yeah, I believe in showing more than telling. Also, even though they'll tell you things, but if they're really, I guess, like they say, into you, You would know by
actions.
the way they show it.
Yeah, the actions.
Yeah.
Do you feel like with the amount of dating sites out here, has it almost overly saturated choices, or is it the same people on the same site?
It's the same people on the same site. The paid ones, the free ones, they're all there. You're like, I just saw you like 2 months ago. I just X'd you out. So it's just like they're all there everywhere. So, But yeah, so a lot of the free sites, I got off the free sites because I did see a lot of coworkers, and I was like, yeah, I don't want them in my business. So I moved over to the paid site. So I haven't exactly seen them on there yet. So I'm hoping that they're not there. So, but most of the other guys, it's like, yeah, they're on the free site, and they're on the paid site.
So just keep hope alive, keep the torch going for dating. Listen was your advice.
Yeah.
And like, what is your rule as far as like, I know that you have said like you have a rule on like how fast somebody are you the caller first? Do you do the
no.
Yeah.
I'm kind of old school. I believe a man should pursue a woman. I don't believe in playing games,
right?
But I feel like a man should make the first step. So I guess that's right what your hub said earlier. It's like the man is the gatekeeper of the relationships or whatever, because I do believe that the man should pursue the woman. So like if I meet them in person and they come to me, and then let's say if I'm open to it, I'll give them my number or something like that, but he should call me. Or even like on the websites, I'll wait for him to ask me for my number, but I'll give them the number, and then I'll still wait for them to call.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because also this husband of mine, I do say, like, for me, it doesn't matter, like, should he pay, like, who should pay? Should it be the man to pay first?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
What do you think about that,
babe? Pay first.
I think if the man asked you out, yes, you should.
And that's why I don't ask the guy out, because I ain't think I think even if I did say, hey, you want to meet up for coffee, I still expect for him to pay. So
I would disagree with that. I think it should be a Dutch dinner.
A Dutch. I'd say like you should offer, but the man should pay. But I feel like you could be like, do you need help with this?
See,
not coffee, no. But like if he took you like somewhere nice as a gesture. For instance, this was another thing that I seen on social media where this dude had like took this girl, picked her up, took her out, and then because she wouldn't go back home with him, he told her to find her own way home.
That's automatic.
Yeah, because a lot of dudes, and I have sons, and that's what I said. I do know that people use people. My rules for my sons is like I say, like it's as a man, yes, you should pay and stuff like that, but at least she should offer sometime. Like I need to see some
but past the first date.
Yeah, and I even told him like, for our first date, if you trying to take me to McDonald's, I'm not gonna date you.
Right. Exactly.
He don't agree with that, even though he took me somewhere nice on our first date. But why don't you agree with that?
I just don't understand why why the place matters. It's the time and the effort put into getting to know you.
But McDonald's is not effort.
Right. Exactly. That's not effort.
Maybe not to you because you're putting a dollar amount on it.
It's not really a dollar. No,
yes, it is.
McDonald's is not.
Amount.
If you took, I always tell him if he would have taken me.
Okay, what if it's Chili's?
Yeah, Chili's is better than McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's is just like McDonald's. I don't want to go somewhere where we can see a crackhead.
I'll take you.
I don't want
I'll take you serious.
Yeah, don't take me to a place where people can like shoot up drugs in the bathroom and like do crack.
Anywhere, but anyway.
Yeah, it matters where you go on the first date.
Yeah.
Especially if you asking somebody out.
Well, let me rephrase that. Yeah, McDonald's kind of an extreme version.
Yes.
But what if, like I said, an Applebee's or Chili's?
I wouldn't have a problem with Applebee's or Chili's. But also, you ain't gonna get none off Applebee's or Chili's either.
I like how mozzarella sticks.
How often did the restaurant affect whether you gave it up that night or not?
Well, first of all, you took me to like a very nice place on our first date.
I know that. Anyway,
you spent a lot of money.
Yeah. So that argument is irrelevant then.
I know, but we have had a conversation because I've told you, like, if you took me to McDonald's, we would not be together.
Yeah, that's the extreme version.
Yeah, because some dudes would be like, take her to McDonald's, see if she like you. If you take me to McDonald's, I don't like you.
Exactly.
Period.
Right.
Like, no.
Period.
Now, you want to come bring me lunch at the park and you bring McDonald's, that's cute because you are kind of, but I also put more effort into it. But
yeah, that's what I argued about, putting in the time.
Yeah, but yeah, McDonald's, no. But if you took me to a park and you had like a nice little situation, maybe a tablecloth, something like that,
I can see that.
Jazz it up, jazz the McDonald's up.
That's what I argued about.
Because you can go to a dollar store. Yeah, but I'm saying don't take me to McDonald's and pull up and be like,
what if there's a tablecloth on the McDonald's table?
No.
With a candle.
No. So I think that's a good place to end this conversation. Because fortunately for my husband, he did not take me to McDonald's on our first date because we would not be married.
Right.
But for you daters out there, I wanted to talk to my girl J Styles. See, some insight on dating. What do you guys think? Is it hard out here for a pimp?
Yeah.
Is it hard out here for marriage? Is it hard? Like, what is it like? Are we living in this world where everybody's fake? Are people looking for love? Do you think people are looking for love?
I think some people are. Some people are just looking for their own, to get pleasure.
As my husband says, they're looking to smash.
Right. But I believe some people are. I'm trying to keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. There is somebody, because you attract good things to you that you will attract. Do you have any dating advice or anything for J Styles here?
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank now.
The Neanderthal brain.
Yeah, see how you say that? No, you showed me.
How are you just drawing a blank? Literally just talked almost an hour drawing a blank. Do you have any dating advice? Do you think people are still dating for love? Do you think J Styles will find love?
Oh, yeah, I think it's very possible she could find love. But, as far as dating goes, I think everybody's just out to get something from everybody. A quick satisfaction.
Until they find the
good luck finding the needle in that haystack.
Right.
Until they find the queen of the whole bitches that stops the bitches.
Yeah, you gotta find her. She's out there. You miss the whole bitches.
I done missed the whole bitches. Good grief.
Well, that has been. I'm gonna close on that for tits and giggles. We've had a very insightful conversation. We will have more. This was fun. Thank you, J Styles, for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks, Hubs.
Thank you for allowing me.
Thank you for your ADD holding out almost to the end. And you guys have a good week. And Tits and Giggles is signing off.